We start off to the bottom left-hand side of the map from Ting. It's our two-time 2017 WCS champion looking for his third WCS title of the year. Undeniably, the strongest foreigner at the moment, it is Neeb. Top right-hand side. Blue Terran player is going to be souL. Representing, I don't know what team he represents at the moment, actually, souL. He's been hopping around teams a little bit as of late, so set up into this. Let's see what's going to be happening in the next few moments as we enter this PvT. Obviously, souL comes into this as a big underdog, but there's definitely been someone on the rise. There's definitely someone who could probably, you know, given, you know, on a good day. I'm not going to say he's going to beat Neeb in a best of 5. I really doubt he's going to beat Neeb in a best of 5, actually, but I would be surprised if he didn't put up a good fight. I'd be surprised if Neeb just ran away with this series 1-2-3, 3-0, you know, didn't even look twice at anything he was doing. I feel as though souL will put up a good fight. I think he could take a game, definitely. I think he'll make the other games entertaining, so we'll see how exactly this goes. We do see this probe just scanning all the way in towards the main, and we'll just be starting to nibble away at a couple SCVs. The Nexus already on the way down here from Neeb back at home. His Gate Nexus core build order is a very standard one to get us going here on Mech Depot. We're on best of 5s, and throughout the best of 5, I'd be surprised if souL opened with a, you know, a quick CC every single game, basically, as he's doing right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of proxies mixed in here and there as well, just to help out with that, as this probe gets pushed away, but we do see it surviving on just the 1 hit point, so probe's still alive, and yeah, it doesn't really want to go back in later, right? You go back in towards this marine, you are going to die. Interestingly enough, souL did build his CC on the high ground, whether that's because he was just, you know, aware of that probe and he didn't want it to see the CC. I'm not really too sure. It's one of those situations where usually the pros player is going to assume the CC anyways, and so I guess he just wanted to build up here instead of being blocked for a while, but well, it's one of those things. It's not going to have a massive difference, but we'll see how it develops on, I suppose, over time. As you see, this reactor's about to finish up the factory. We'll be finishing up shortly too, and we might see, okay, we're just going to see the reactor marines. That means we'll see the starport dropping down then, as well as a widow mine on the way out. So very standard marine widow mine starport setup initially. There's a robo facility here from Neeb. The one thing that's interesting from souL is he did bypass the initial Reaper, and by bypassing that initial Reaper, he's given up his opportunity to be able to see what's in the main base. So not being able to see what's in the main, souL will be a bit blind, and it'll be interesting to see how he plays because of that. Will he play super safe and go, you know, widow mine Viking to just make sure he can shut down any Oracle play no matter what? Obviously, Viking can still be somewhat useful, but not super useful early game TVP, outside of picking off that initial Oracle or so. That means sometimes you can use them in a push, and you can actually hit the mothership core a few times. You can land them as well. It's just going to be the medevac though, so souL just going to be getting himself aggressive opportunities onto the map, while Neeb Robo facility, observers on the way up, Twilight Council dropping down. His build order is a plain simple road right now. He's running straight ahead, you know, he's straight down the tracks of simplicity as he just goes into this blink play. And it is just going to be leading him into a third Nexus as well. So really standard stuff here from Neeb. Just playing a blink opener, which will keep him safe, will allow him to pressure a little bit and maybe create some opportunities. It's just a solid way for him to set up in the game. The observers obviously create him, you know, a nice little safety layer to help deal with any sort of cloak banshee play potentially, help deal with just any sort of information he might lack. So obviously it all adds up to being just a nice little way for things to roll for Neeb here. Now souL is moving down towards the lower left-hand side. A few marines just gathering up on the natural expansion. And that warp prism still on the way out here from Neeb as well. So still getting this set up and rolling. This observer from Neeb is not going to be going anywhere if there's going to be a little bit of a lag spike. It's Caster A! That's even funnier because these guys waited for so long to get Caster A into the game. Thank God they managed to see the first 4 minutes. I don't want to type in the chat. I always feel awkward typing in the chat like a proper tournament, even during the pause or something. Let the players focus and get ready to go. Caster will drop out here, and then we will resume into game number 1. Just a few minutes in. see what's going to happen. Yes, Sarah vs. Man is on this stream there, Azrak. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to reply to you before. A little bit occupied with the game. Trying to focus up on the games today. Obviously, quite honoured to be able to cast some WCS round of 16, so I'm going to try and make the best job of it possible. So Marine's starting to unload, the Widow Mine is still yet to unload and will go down on the high ground. Oh no, the Mothership Core is actually going to take some shots here and will go down. So Mothership Core falls, but the Stalkers are pretty okay as the boost away comes in. He'll save the medevac, the Widow Mine as well. Only a few Marines lost here to kill the Mothership Core and apply some pressure. This wasn't so bad. And as we're going to be seeing the medevac continue to just come out through the right-hand side. So medevac continues to come out through the south, as we do see the Mothership Core now about halfway done. Just obviously wants to rebuild that. It's important to keep your Mothership Core because it is going to be a major part of your defense throughout the game. Third Nexus builds at the same time here from Neeb. Stalkers from Neeb coming on up through the left-hand side as well. I mean, as he gets Blink, of course, he's looking for these opportunities, these chances to pick off a Widow Mine and blink away, or to pick off a Viking that's out of position, or maybe he catches a drop. By being on the map, he creates opportunities for himself, as this Widow Mine here does burrow and does manage to kill a Stalker, so that's a nice little pick off as well. Still pressure with this medevac, although there's not much left to it any longer. These Stalkers, I mean, again, he's got the Observer, so he can poke up the ramp. He can pick away at a depot or so, force souL to react to some extent. It's going to be seeing the SCVs going down. The Viking and Marines helping to get rid of that Observer, knowing that high ground vision will be an important part of this. So, he's able to push this back from now. Neeb is blinking backwards as well. First depot will go down. It was one that wasn't finished building just yet. But the siege tank definitely helping souL to protect himself here. He's going to be able to push Neeb away. And Neeb will be just continuing to sit on this ramp, poke it away after these depots. You gotta remember, I mean, I know Neeb's the favorite in the series, guys, but you know, it wouldn't be the first time he would potentially come up against trouble in the round of 16 of a WCS. Just last WCS in Valencia against Probe in the round of 16, he ended up going to all 5 games. Obviously, that was a little bit of a crazy scenario, but he was on the verge of dropping out there. And obviously here today, you know, we're hoping for souL to at least put up a similar sort of fight. As you see, Stalkers blinking to the main. 2 Marauders and Siege Tank as well. The damage output here from these units is pretty good, but the Blink Micro, well, not even just the Blink Micro, but just the straight up Blink Stalker kind of Warp Prism Micro is pretty good, as we're going to be seeing. Nice stuff from Neeb, and he gets out of the majority of the Stalkers. He blinked forwards to pick off a Siege Tank, obviously making the most of these units, and that's the exact sort of thing that makes Neeb so scary to play against. He will get the most out of every single unit possible on the map, and he'll make sure of that as we see these Stalkers still gathering up just underneath the Warp Prism. Couple mules drop down on the third base, and we are just going to be seeing Prism back into the main. 2 more medevacs on the way up. It's a supply block here from souL, actually being denied his depots on the low ground here. He's having some repercussions, now unable to build units for a little while. Well, we'll start adding up as we're going to be seeing Siege Tank repairing. A few Marines on the back, actually. He's going to catch blinking back Stalkers. This is really nice from souL, actually. Look at that. He makes the most of this, and that's a big win for souL. The flanking Marines coming in from the third base location, all of a sudden picking off a whole bunch of Stalkers. Neeb getting punished a little bit for just trying to get that little bit more. souL finding himself an answer there to what was a bit of a tough scenario. 54 to 64 workers. It's a good position for the Terran still, as much as the damage has been piling on for the Terran from the Protoss. souL has got just a 10 worker deficit, which with Triple Neal is made up for. Income should be fairly even, but we didn't get hosted with WCS Gameheart. God damn it, guys. So yeah, that's going to be something to keep in mind, I suppose. But only a few workers deficit. We're going to be seeing the army supplies are pretty even as well. Generally, the Terran would like to be a little bit ahead of Protoss and army supply, but with this sort of army composition from the Protoss, it's not that big of a deal, because actually the Adepts, the Stalkers, are the sort of units we've seen warped in here. They are massing up in general, and as they mass up, you know, the supply rises a lot faster than if he was to throw all of his money and all of his kind of resources into teching, such as throwing down double Colossi, and so on and so on. Pushing up the right side, we do see these couple of tanks sieged up, and the Stalkers do back away. These Marauders there to help push those Stalkers back. Dark Shrine coming on down. We're going to see the Robobait coming down as well, about halfway done. 2 extra gateways on the way up now from Neeb, as we see that 4th Nexus also just going to be finishing up in the next few moments. Medevacs, Marines, Marauders, tanks as well. All of these units gather together to start pushing towards the Protoss side of the map. And well, souL, he's got 1-1. He's about to be playing against 2-1 though, so it will be an upgrade lead for the Protoss. What does the Protoss got? He got Blinking Glaives? He does have Blinking Glaives, so he doesn't have Colossi yet either though. Neeb is going to be under a little bit of pressure at the same time. A double drop in the back of the third base. Stalkers will blink forwards and start to pick away at these medevacs, but there is Widow Mines here, and the explosions are kind of severe. Neeb loses a lot of workers in that, as well as taking quite a bit of a hit to his army. And now souL is in position on the fourth base. Fourth Nexus is taking damage, and souL is going to get rid of this, it seems. A few Stalkers pushing on in, but I mean that Nexus drops. And we are going to see, well, already some devastating, some more damage. souL will just try and get away this medevac, these Marines and Marauders. He actually maintains a fair amount here. Kills off the fourth, does some good damage towards the third base. And souL has reinforcements just continue to pour on out, although I don't see them. There they are. A couple of Liberators being mixed in as well. This medevac does go down. That's the one thing I think is a bit of an issue for souL. He didn't maintain any of the medevacs here. You maintain those medevacs, suddenly you don't have to reproduce them. You can keep building Liberators. In this scenario, though, your medevac count is now non-existent, and now you have to make that sort of choice between the two. CC will finish up before the Stalkers and Immortals are able to get on top of it. That's something which is very important here for souL, obviously being able to keep the fourth, and he will be able to siege up the Liberators as well to take this position. There's a lot of bio here still, and he will actually stimulate to start fighting. There's some bio, will get force fielded away. I do feel the Liberators could have taken a bit more of an aggressive posture here, just being maybe a bit more along here than just on top of the CC. And Dep's going to start to shade on by, and again, this is the sort of stage where we really do need to see medevacs coming in. He's starting to really overstim these units because he wants them to be all over the place to defend, but he needs the medevacs to make sure he can keep them on high health. Two of them now on the way. He needs a couple more than two though. I mean, two alone is really not going to make it. The good thing here for souL is that he can sit defensively as the Liberator comes in and does a little bit of damage. He can sit defensively, and he can just sit and wait for the Planetary Fortress here too. Neeb shouldn't be able to attack him and to do anything kind of too crazy about this. And upgrades are about to take a lead for the Terran player here. They've been ping-ponging back and forth as the +2 armor finishes with the +2 attack. Neeb will lose his upgrade advantage, and it will go to the Terran player for a little while until the free upgrades finish up for the Protoss. Some bio was just loaded up into this medevac here. Now he drops back down to make sure he can push this Warp Prism away. It unloads, and the Warp Prism does back away over to the side. Again, more medevacs on the way up, and the Storm upgrade is coming through here from Neeb as well. So he's getting ready to go into the rest of this now, as we're going to see Stalkers, Immortals, Colossus all joining up in the center. And Marine is going to get picked off right away as well, since the tower does finish up. And obviously Liberator is going to reposition so you can start to deal with this new location of the Protoss army. Liberators really are one of the main features of this army of the Protoss, of the Terran, so he needs to make sure he keeps repositioning them as required. Single Colossus not adding in much just yet, actually. And he did only ever build 2 Colossi. He hasn't built a third one, so I guess the second one's just now finished. We do see Prism in the main DTs here as well. souL has to deal with that. We are also getting ready to deal with this main army of the Protoss at the front. The thing is for Neeb, though, even if he just sort of, comes in and pokes and prods, it's a distraction, while the main damage, the real damage, is actually being done towards the main base as DTs are swiping away, and souL is beginning to struggle a little bit here in terms of dealing with this composition of the Protoss, this harassment, and all the rest that's going on. DTs are still swiping, and there's just not been a scan or anything. souL's economy is going down the drain at the moment. 52 to 70 workers now. It's been dropping and dropping and dropping as we see a Stalker here able to pick away at a few more SCVs. A little bit more damage being done. Again, this attack in the main base, though, the Warpins are just not ending, and that is the issue for souL. He needed to send a bit more back a little bit faster, but now he's sort of already let the Protoss player find enough damage, and again, he's struggling to keep up with being in the right place at the right time. These Liberators are going to be under attack before they can siege, so they had to come back in over here, and that is exactly what Neeb's been looking for, the opportunity to come in and pick away at a couple of Liberators, and it's just this consistent pressure that has just not been letting up throughout the entirety of the game. That has just allowed Neeb to finally break souL here. souL was playing a brilliant game, actually. He had what he needed. He had everything getting set up. He made some good moves killing off the CC, the Nexus at the fourth base. He's been defending his bases, but Neeb is just so consistent, and he will not let up until he finds himself the damage he needs. And he's always on the front foot, which means it's not even only souL who has to keep on defending, but souL also has to try and find a way to break out at some point. And this attack in the main base is still not dealt with. GG. Neeb takes game for one of his best of 5. Will be a 1-0 lead for Neeb. Because I've just got one hand, it's difficult to carry everything properly with one hand. Okay then. Are we ready for game number 2, guys? We can kick off to the bottom right-hand side of the map. The red Protoss player from Ting. Give it up if you're going to be cheering on. What's up, Andy, man? Thank you for that cheer 100 in the chat as well. Why is Buta the Bit Boss unacceptable? There you go. Andy, man, the Bit Boss now. Thank you very much for the cheer 100. Some love in the chat, please, for Andy, man. Top left-hand side, the blue Terran player. Give it up if you're going to be cheering on souL. WCS round of 16. It's crazy, you know, souL is like the Terran representative in this round of 16 at the moment. I mean, who else have we really got? Do we even have another Terran player? We do have a couple. We have Massa and Kelazur. It was taking me a moment to actually remember who else was here. It's funny because I guess Kelazur has been the heavy hitter this year in terms of foreign Terran players actually, and Special as well. But Special knocked out in group stage 2 yesterday, I think. He lost out to DNS and also to Zanster to not make it into group stage 3. Bit of a shock as we do see this proxy play coming on down factory in the early stages. I would have said this a bit earlier if I'd noticed a bit sooner, but Neeb is one of the players that on Ascension to Aya almost always scouts this exact location. It's kind of a little bit funny because he always scouts this location, and well, there you have it. A cancel from souL. He'll build the factory at home instead. He'll have to completely redo his plans. But obviously, it's going to take a lot longer to hit, not just because it's built back at home, but because it, built halfway, cancelled, and now started to build in the main base. Nexus on the way up on the natural. And this probe just going to sit on the right-hand watchtower as well. CC will be starting up on the low ground as well. We set up in towards this. So, again, still just going to try and transition out, but Neeb already taking a little bit of an advantage. I say a little bit. It is kind of huge. The fact he forced a cancel on the proxy factory already. It is a pretty big deal. It's definitely not nothing. And it does mean that Neeb will be very happy with how this game's going. And I love the Dark Shrine. Mix things up for yourself. You just went from playing the most standard game possible to now you're playing the, well, not the most standard game possible, I suppose. You're going to be playing this, pretty much like a two-base cheese in a way. DTs are not kind of all in. It is a little bit cheesy. It puts you a bit behind, obviously, because you're delaying other tech to invest into it if they don't do damage. But, yeah, it's just going to be kind of, we'll see if he, does actually find the damage or not. As we set up in towards this, just going to be seeing the Widow Mine burrowing towards the frontier. Strikes the gates just going to be finishing, and again, Dark Shrine just over halfway done. SCV coming through, medevac on the way out. That Cyclone starting to build as well. But obviously for us, all eyes are on this pylon here. The Dark Shrine's about to finish. We're waiting to see how much damage can be done by this. I saw someone, was it a DNS DT rush special yesterday? Even have been on this map, and I do remember that special was very good and he had the game sense to save up some scans in case that was a possibility, especially when he's playing without an engineering bay. I gotta say, it's not looking very good right now. It is not looking very good right now as we see the two DTs just going to warp on through. I mean, I'm saying it's not looking very good because he's got 30 energy until he has a single scanner available. And I think it's just going to be, I hate to say it so, so bluntly and abruptly, but this might just be GG from souL because realistically, there's DTs running into your main and natural mineral lines. SCVs are going down already. You don't have a scan for at least 20 plus seconds. I mean, your Widow Mine here gets a couple workers and there's some Marines as well. And I guess you're at a position to kind of, of the pylon for the mothership core overcharge, but again, the damage you're taking is just absolutely crazy to see the DT continue to work its way through multiple SCVs. And I mean, souL again is trying to buy time. He's trying to just wait it out a little bit. Mothership core is fighting the Marines and we'll have to pull away here. Now a couple more probes may go down, but I mean, I guess the Widow Mines are about to come off cooldown. The Observer's on the way out, but nobody in time to set this up. It's going to be a nice connection there. That's 4 workers. As he pulls away, oh, he pulls that probe back. And it is just going to be one more. 37 works to 22, though, and it's definitely an advantage to Neeb, as these DTs are still swiping away. Scans have already been used, actually. I mean, he's building a Raven as a way to be able to deal with this without the scans. Steepo's going to start being on fire here in a second, and he's going to go down. This CC has to lift as well. And this medevac with the Widow Mine inside. He's going to try and relocate too. Mortal on the way up. A couple of Forges on the way out as well here right now, so Neeb just getting ready to kind of follow up into this game. I mean, he took a bit of a gamble, rolled the dice slightly on that Widow, on that Dark Temple play, and as the Dark Templar finished up, you know, he made use of them, and he really did get the most out of it. And honestly, don't think he could have ended up in a better position if he hadn't gone Dark Templar. So this is pretty much just souL here. You know, he's hurt and he's bleeding, and he's going to be down 0-2 against a monster like Neeb. I think I think if there was any chance for souL in this series, he has to start strong. You go down 0-2 against someone like Neeb. I don't even know the last time Neeb blew an 0-2 lead in a series, or 2-0 lead in a series. You see Marines coming over, and they will pick off that Dark Templar, which is just trying to harass towards the third base. Again, it's a nice cleanup of the DTs. But there's always going to be a but in this scenario. There's still a 30 worker deficit. Cyclone and Marine's going to come over to this pylon now, and they're going to start working their way through this as well, so that pylon will drop. As the pylon gets picked off, we're just going to be able to see, obviously, the turn player maybe able to move around the map a little bit, but the reality is, off of 30 worker advantage, as soon as Neeb just gets his extra gates up, 5 of them are in production, there's just going to be an absolute swell of Protoss units, enough of a swell to realistically push back and to shut down this entire army. Cyclone, Raven, and a Viking are moving on through the center. Sits in the middle here, and again, just going to be seeing Neeb gathering a little bit to the right-hand side. A couple of Dark Templar on the way up. And you do see the 1-1 upgrade is going to continue on through as well. Going to be finishing in just a few moments' time. Blink is about to finish also. Pylon off to the side, and a couple more gateways just coming up behind this mineral line. So again, a lot of kind of setting up going on right now as we see the hallucinated Phoenix really going up towards the upper left-hand side. Again, just trying to scout things out. I mean, you can see how far souL is behind though. Stim is so delayed, combat shields is still not ready. You know, his upgrades aren't going to be here to really do anything with this push. He hasn't started a +1 attack upgrade, and there's 2-2 on the way for the Protoss player. Again, just going through the formalities right now here in game 2, but Neeb is just waiting to make sure he's got an army he can push with, and whenever he does decide to push, it's going to be lights out for souL. And if I was souL, I might even be starting to think about what I do in game number 3 at this point, because, you know, at this stage, what do you do to get back in game number 2? It's you know, it's an impossible question. To get back in game number 2, he would have to wait for Neeb to be like mid-map, somehow counter maybe with 2 sets of medevacs or something, and kill off the third and main, and enter some kind of crazy base trade. I think that's what souL would have to aim for here and hope for if he wants to win this. Auto turret's going to go down, try and fight this. Neeb will play the smart game and back away from the auto turrets. Skill's coming down. Again, there's just straight up not enough fire, and the Stalkers know that. That's why they blink forward to get rid of one of the medevacs there. The Raven 2 going to be in trouble, and it's an overwhelming number of units here for Neeb, as we expected. souL has to back away, and he's just going to be losing out here in game number 2. Neeb will just keep on pushing now. He knows this fight went his way as well, so he knew he was ahead before. Now he knows he's ahead again, so he can push on forwards and go once more. Two Archons going to be leading the charge in. See the Marines and Roars getting ready to go for this. Again, the Virus going to take a little bit of damage. Game is called GN. The end probably because he was going to try and tap out. So doesn't promote the conversations we want to have in the chat. Let's jump into game number 3. Top right hand side again. Sorry for the delays. Have to wait for the mainstream to give us the go ahead to keep on casting. Hey. just to make this, you know, to really give you guys the context of this, We literally just waited 5 minutes for Caster to be able to join the lobby. Not even joking. Can't even make this up. Oh man, what's up HJP Alpha using that fresh Wardy Gold? Our only current Wardy Gold user. What's up, how you doing today? Well, you and me. I can also Wardy Gold. Mwahahaha. Look at that, Wardy Gold train. We literally got all of the Wardy Golds chained in a row ever. Amazing. Alright, let's get this going. Let's go from the get-go. Let's go from the top to the top right-hand side. Our red Terran player is going to be souL. souL will be going up against the Blue Cross player. It is going to be gas first from souL. Let's see what that brings from him. Could just be a gas first Reaper expand. It works, but we'll see what his maybe plan is here. On Acolyte of all maps, it is one of the maps which you might expect like a fast free sea of macro game. Of course, then the issue is you playing a macro game against Neeb, and that can become kind of difficult. What's up, Duttles? Your wife says hi. She only watches when it's WCS. Is this the official twitter.com/DuttlesWife? What's up? WCS is a great one to watch. Some say it's the very best. I don't know. Sometimes I get, sometimes I have to make a choice. Do I watch WCS or do I rewatch the WardiTV weekly? And it's, it really grinds on my brain for a while until I settle with the obvious choice in the end, which is the WardiTV weekly. WCS, I mean, what a great event. It's the final one of the year, the final WCS circuit of the year, which is already feeling a little bit crazy. It's, yeah, it's been... Seems like he's gone fairly quick. Austin obviously happened way back in April, but... Yeah, I mean, then we had... After Austin was a bit of a dry spell, but then we had a month or two, and then it was Yonkoping and Valencia, and they seemed to come very back-to-back. And then I feel as though Montreal's come very, fairly quickly after that as well, so... Kind of interesting. Anyways, we set up in towards this, and we're just going to be seeing this early probe. It's kind of around. He is looking for a proxy, and it is a proxy factory to the left-hand side. The factory coming down to the left, the starport will probably come down next to it if he gets the chance, but as the probe finds the factory again, wow, this is the second game in a row where Neeb finds the proxy factory. SCV will take some damage. You're going to be seeing the Reaper coming over to try and help protect it, and this time at least the factory doesn't have to cancel it, will be able to stay on up. I'm just going to be seeing the starport will be able to get going as well, as you're going to see this probe does get taken down. This probe gets taken down. There's that starport which we're expecting here. Expecting this to be kind of Widowmine jobs coming through. The Adept coming over though, if it actually found the starport, which it does, it's going to be able to force a cancel there. And disastrous striking. What do you do with a proxy factory here? You have no real access to the base. It's actually miles to get in towards the main still. You have to come all the way around this side, and I mean that's the whole point of the starport, right? To pick up the Widowmines here, and if the starport isn't proxied, then what was the point of proxying the factory in the first place? It really makes barely any difference. Maybe you get an extra Widowmine in the medevac by the time it takes the medevac to fly over, but it doesn't hit any sooner. And as we see the Oracle on the way up, Neeb is just going to be getting in a position to really shut this down. Safe play by Neeb. He doesn't want to lose out on anything here. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. Doesn't want to die to something silly. He's been scouting to make sure he doesn't have any of that happen to him. As we now see, whatever this was, the Reaper just a grenade, I think. Looks like a bunch of SCV probes pulled in towards a Reaper grenade or something. But either way, we are just going to be seeing the Oracle popping out, and Neeb going to start heading in towards the other right-hand side to get some damage done. 5 Marines and a Cyclone out. Obviously, the Cyclone is on the wrong side of the map, though, as is the Widowmine. A couple more Marines will make this a bit safer, but there's going to be so many opportunities and openings for this Oracle to do damage. And Neeb doesn't have to play afraid either. He knows for a fact that he can come in here and take away multiple SCVs just like this, because there's not going to be a Widowmine. There's not going to be a Cyclone. It's only Marines, and guess what's more mobile between Oracle and Marines? It's actually the Oracle. It's insanely good. Look at this. Just dives in, dives out, threatening to go into the main. Reality, the Marines are moving there, so he came back to the natural. 6 workers killed in a fairly fresh wheel, and it's looking as though game number 3 is really going the way here of souL. No, my words are the wrong way around. Game number 3 is going the way of Neeb. souL is in trouble yet again, is what I wanted to say. This is going to be seen as Murder Mine Thrower, and the Murder Mine does get lifted at the last second. The Cyclone will be attacked by the Oracle, and the Overcharge will do some damage as well. The Phoenix now will be able to come on over and push that medevac away. And now actually it's going to be seeing the Cyclone getting picked up. It is a few workers going down here, sure. 5 workers lost, but that will be it. And now obviously he kills the Cyclone, the Widow Mine. He's going to kill this medevac as well. And as that medevac goes down, we are just going to be seeing, well, this factory lifting up and backing away to get back to the upper right hand side. So we'll try and play the damage control game and just try and play this out, but it's already looking pretty weak for Neeb here. For souL here. Oh, my names of the players all the way wrong around. I don't know. You guys know what I mean though. souL's in trouble and he's the one that has to try and find a way back into this. Oracles come in, drop a revelation onto the couple of racks and a few marines. Top foot lifts up, gonna see the reactor starting to build, and this barracks gonna lift up and drop down to that tech lab as well. Stimpack is on the way up from souL here too. And there's again 2 oracles, and this Phoenix gonna fly around into the main base. Again, the oracles gonna be able to pop their energy, and they're gonna see already 2, 3 workers going down. 4, 5, 6. He's just gonna keep going up. 7. In case he wasn't already far enough behind, Neeb is just making sure to really push, you know, the stake through his heart a little bit further. Not that souL's a vampire, but you know, maybe he'd have better chances if he was. I don't know. He's really not having a great time right now, souL, and Neeb is really just hammering it down, bringing it home, and just continuing to go. Could be you guys asking about why this game's not mainstream or why they're not putting all the matches on the round of 16 on mainstream. It's because they have timing issues with the venue, so they don't have time to do the entire round of 16 today, and then the entire round of 8, round of 4, and finals tomorrow, which is what they did in like Valencia and Jonkoping. They have to run some of the round of 6. Well, they have to go through round of 16 and round of 8 today to make sure that they are done tomorrow by the time the venue closes. Revelation drops down. Couple depots, racks, factory, all getting caught in that revelation, as we do see. He's just going to back away over to the left. Stimpack, combat shields coming on down, +1 weapons. Coming up here as well, continue to get set to go. I mean, souL is going to get to the point in the game where a Terran would like to be at. The problem is he's just not getting there in a very good spot in other terms. You know, okay, sure, you got an upgrade, you're able to start pushing, but your 4th and 5th racks are very late. He doesn't have a 3rd CC. He's playing against a fully saturated Protoss player who's just been free to do what they want. They've already got 2-2 starting because of how late everything's been set up here from souL. Links on the way, and it's just, you know, whatever I say, none of it is in favor of souL. I mean, I'm trying to think of one thing that souL's got going his way, and I'd say the only thing I can think of is this, but I actually can't think of anything. I really can't. I mean, okay, he's able to push onto the map now, but Neeb sees it coming. He's got a revelation on the entire army. I mean, he could maybe try and drop around, maybe try and just play the, just trying to, again, hit and run game, but it's Acolyte. Neeb can sit so easily and so safely on the free bases. And he sits so easily and safely on the free bases, it just means that there is no real comeback potential right now for souL. And those Marines just getting healed up once again by those few medevacs, and now pushing forwards towards this ramp. Force field's coming down, and we are going to see a few Marines getting picked off there. Again, Neeb playing it safely, not trying to hunt this, not trying to chase it down, not going to throw away the advantage he knows he has. The Oracles looking for that other revelation again, keeping track, especially of these medevacs. You have a revelation on the medevacs, and all of a sudden you're in full control of knowing where your opponent's army is. There's no way they're going to be able to drop you with those medevacs and catch you off guard. Obviously, there's other medevacs that are moving around the map as well, and they are seen by the watchtower, which had an adept on it. Adept cleaned down, it does slow this drop down, so the souL might just gather everything together and get ready to push in. But now there's going to be status boards for him to worry about, and that's going to be another issue for souL in terms of how does he make this happen. Sims forward, he's going to get hit in the next status if he's not careful. He sends this Marine forwards. Oh my god, it doesn't get caught. At the same time, he tries to drop the main double overcharge, picks off one of the 2 medevacs. And again, it's all about Neeb right now. Neeb. It's a 2-0 lead, and he's looking to make it a 3-0 victory to advance through to the quarter-finals of his 4th WCS event this year. And we're going to be seeing force fields dropping down, and this is becoming a very obvious result now as medevacs are chased away. A blink forwards again, 1 and 2 shots. And this, my friends, is really just about to go. I mean, Neeb will just keep on pushing. He catches a few more units here as well, just to make life even more difficult there for the Terran player. Stalkers will move on forwards. The Colossi coming in behind. You can see a lot of Widowmines burrowed at the front, and I mean, the Stalkers might try and just blink around to set those off. I mean, does he have an observer? He probably does, right? Yeah, he's got the Oracles. He can just revelate them. So these Widowmines are going to go up without hitting a single thing. 5 mines down, and as Neeb pushes into the third base, this is probably the end of souL's event at WCS Montreal. It was a great run for him. Probably his best result ever in his career. GG well played. Neeb takes it 3-0.